It's the Nick and Stu Variety Hour.
Podcast number 6, and this is the big dog.
Yep, we finally made it to the big leagues.
We've got a whole heap coming up in this one. Stu, that is Stu, by the way, next to me. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
First things first, crossing the road can be a challenge at any time. Find out how it went down with Nick and I.
Then after that, we've got a bit of a story about Stu just inflicting gratuitous amounts of something on me.
It was for science. I'll give you that. I'm not going to let you know anything more. I'm just going to tease you with that, so you have to listen on to find out more.
Then it's the big one, my friend. The one we've all been waiting for.
The interview with the Gurge.
That's right, Regurgitator Quan. You asked your questions. We asked him. We got some answers. A couple of our own questions as well. Wasn't all you. But let's do it, Stu. Nothing to it but to do it.
Let's get on with it. You're listening to the Nick and Stu Variety Hour. Nick, how are you going today, mate? You look sort of as if I've done something wrong.
I'm not happy, Stu. I'm not feeling good. Not feeling a lot of love. I think you know what you did. Or actually,
I don't.
You're the type of guy that would forget. Basically, for the people playing at home, I'll fill in the situation. You and I, the studio is right next to a very busy road. And we went to cross it yesterday, and we got to the middle point, and
the traffic
got pretty bad. Oh, you're remembering it now.
I remember. I don't see anything that I did wrong here.
I'm thinking of the point where instead of being a good mate and like helping me across the road, I'm not saying I need help or anything, or like guiding me, traffic got a bit hectic, situation got a bit hard, you go, see you, mate, and bolt off, leaving me in the middle of the traffic.
It's pirate code. It's every man for himself, and that's the way I live my life.
I like the way you took time to say goodbye. You're like, okay, Nick's going to die, so I better say my farewells. Goodbye, Nick. It's been a pleasure. And then just... It's just so pirate code.
What to be done? Just pirate code's the way of life.
No, it's not. Being a good friend is.
That's musketeer code, and we all know how they turned out.
Successfully?
No. Who is there a musketeer? Pirates of the Musketeers?
Pirates of the No, there's not. There's not.
Musketeers of the Caribbean. That's what I meant to say.
Well, they didn't live in the Caribbean. There is the movie The Three Musketeers. I believe it was quite popular.
And there's only one of them, and there's 4 Pirates of the Caribbean, so pirate code automatically wins this argument.
There's not 4 Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, there is.
Is there?
Yeah.
They make a 4th one of those. Jesus. Talk about...
What have you been doing?
Talk about flogging a dead horse. How many times can you see Johnny Depp on acid? Are you kidding me?
Nah, but that's the way I've lived my life, and that's the way I'm going to continue it.
Both pirates and musketeers are extinct, and I think we'll leave it at that. Neither succeeded. You know who did live on? Crocodiles. Crocodile code. Eat your young. That's the way I live my life.
I still don't know what you're whinging about. You're here today. You made it across the road. I'm here. I still don't think I did anything wrong.
No thanks to you, sir.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me.
Well, if you like that, hang around because you're going to enjoy what's next. Me, science pain, that's all.
Need something to jog to? Liven up a party, or just chill out too? Then you need Best of the Best Australian Trained Voiceovers. This 20 CD series contains classics such as Cleveland to Bowen Hills, Ipswich to Central, and the legendary Gold Coast line. If you purchase this exciting collection now, you will also receive our additional 5-disc collection, International Airport Terminals.
What do you mean take off shoes?
Nick and Stu Variety Hour. Stu, so you didn't think leaving me to die in traffic was bad enough. I should actually go on. I feel like I didn't properly explain why I may have needed a little bit of help. It was because I couldn't bend my legs. Can't think of why. Can you, Stu?
Got no idea, mate. No idea at all.
Right, I think you do, actually. I can think of a couple of reasons why you would. Because you strapped me up and electrocuted my legs, basically. Electrocuted my legs. No, just one leg, actually. For what, 20 minutes, 40 minutes?
40 minutes, and the technical word is electrical stimulation.
Yeah, well, I didn't find it very stimulating.
Oh,
I'll tell you that much. I did not find it stimulating at all.
I videoed you and your facial expressions look stimulated.
Oh, God. And then the piece de resistance. Now that we've electroshocked you, let me strap a whole heap of ping pong balls to you and film you walking backwards on a treadmill at what, 6k an hour?
6k's an hour.
6k an hour is fast walking forwards. I was walking backwards on a treadmill.
Downhill.
with 20 kilos on my back.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, just whatever, you know.
Just want to make sure that you're working hard. It's only an hour.
Is that working hard? I nearly died.
You legitimately look like you were going to have a stroke and or a heart attack.
I was like a fat kid that you put a Twinkie in front of. I kept knocking the stop button out. I was going, please stop. You thought it was an accident. I was worried about my coronary.
Oh, mate, I reckon you probably lost about 3 kilos of just water.
Oh, and all my dignity. As another plus, it was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I was actually...
Well, we had, a professional rugby player before you, and then you, and then just a normal person.
Would have been. And then just a normal person. Where do I fit into the classifications?
Below normal. What's the PC word? Special, I think.
Oh, good. Comparing me... You know, you're just insulting special people, really. Because I was not. There was nothing special about what I did.
I don't know how you struggle walking backwards.
It's not something I practice frequently.
Well, it's all over, and just think you've contributed to science.
Yeah, and you've contributed to me dying at a young age.
I feel like I've achieved something then.
Up next, we hang out with Regurgitator.
G'day Australia, I'm Jeff Jowett, creator of Body Slim and all-round mad. Over 8 billion people crapped out over 6 kilos plus in their first week on the product. Now, I've invented Body Slim Plus, guaranteed to help you lose 5 kilos in the first week. That's right, a product so good, it's mathematically illogical. This product works. Just ask this guy.
This product works.
He's not paid. Now I'm just going to repeat the word kilos. 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 Bet you wish I could pronounce that properly.
The Nick and Stu Variety Hour.
Regurgitator! Regurgitator! Regurgitator!
Please welcome Regurgitator.
Today is our very first big name interview with an Australian rock legend, Quan from Regurgitator. And Nick was a little bit excited about this, and he kept on ringing me. I eventually just had to screen his calls, and I get this message back, and he's singing me a song. Just take a little listen.
Today it's gonna be the day that we're gonna do an interview. By now I should have somehow written out a question or two. I don't believe that anybody could do as poorly as Stu. Yeah, now.
Well, mate, there you have it. A little bit excited. I think you could have been doing better things with your time.
A funny story. That actually took me 3.5 days to write. Probably should have spent a little bit more time writing questions.
G'day, Quan.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, it's Nick and Stu here. Nice to meet ya.
Hey, you too, man.
The Super Happy Fun Times Friends record. You guys, sorry, it's a bit of a mouthful.
I know.
And it's all in one
We've
word.
gone from doing like albums with really simple names to albums with annoyingly tongue-twistery type names.
Well,
How do you go from unit to that? Are you just trying to punish us?
Yeah, I think so.
well, it's difficult. You've accomplished that. You guys were going to release, the singles here and there when you felt like it, but then you went and just released the album. What was the change of heart?
Just didn't realise how lazy we'd actually be unless we had like someone like an album focus to actually get stuff done.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was an album was not something I was really thinking about for a long time, and then a manager was just like, "Well, we want to do a tour because you got to eat." And we need something for it, so what do you want to do? And we were like, okay, it'd be great to put something out on vinyl. And he said, we need like 2.5 months to get the turnaround on vinyl to produce it. And we looked at our watches and we're like, oh, fuck, we got like 3 weeks. So we got to go into the studio and do something. And then we just like forced ourselves to write the whole thing in pretty much 3 weeks, recorded it ourselves, produced it, mixed it ourselves, and then just sent it away to get mastered.
So the main motivation was just to eat. You just needed something to pay the bills to eat.
Well, I'm thinking about starting like a company that just imposes deadlines on artists and musicians. Hire a couple of massive Maori dudes to come around and break your fingers if you haven't finished your album or haven't finished your painting or whatever.
Talking about putting it out on vinyl, you've basically put it out on everything you can. You've got your vinyl, CD, SoundCloud, iTunes, cassette, play button. Am I missing anything there, or...? That's
pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, unless there's something that's going to come up in the next couple of weeks that we've missed.
No 8-track?
No 8-track. Yeah, it's weird doing all this digital shit and then going backwards and doing analog like mastering it to analog and putting it out on analog stuff is kind of odd, like tape and vinyl.
Did you grab inspiration from your past albums, or like your new record sounds like a bunch of different genres all mashed together? Is there any major influencing band from the past, present, that, helped you develop this record?
Not really. I mean, apart from the bunch of stuff that we normally listen to on a day-to-day basis, like, we're always listening to different music, new music that pops up that grabs us, and old music that we've listened to for a long time, but always from different genres. And I think this record is more like the old Regurgitator that was... It's a bit more tongue-in-cheek, there's a bit more humour on there, there's a little bit more riffage and a little bit more pop and a bit more of a mixture than the last record, definitely. And we're kind of really satisfied with it because of that, I think.
My favourite song off it is All Fake Everything. And then obviously it breaks down into the gangster rap. What was it like throwing that out? Was that a bit of a kickback to Quan the amateur, or?
No, I love rap music, and we hadn't done any. I hadn't really dedicated any to the Regurgitator band for a while, so I really wanted to do a hip-hop track, and those two ideas had been kicking around for a little while, and I didn't think to meld them until later on. That track was literally the last track I got to record, and I was doing the vocals at midnight that night before we sent it to the master the next day, and then I had to mix it in like 20 minutes or something ridiculous.
That's even more impressive.
Yeah, I had to get into that mindset really quickly, and that's great. That's the one great thing about having those deadlines. It really pushes you to kind of really stop fucking around and just focus, and that was a really great thing. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite songs on the record. But I think that I'm a reasonably capable rapper in the studio, but I've got a terrible memory for lyrics. So, I'm actually a really bad real world rapper. I'm not very good on the street, and I certainly couldn't battle my way out of a wet paper bag, essentially.
You're listening to the Nick and Stu Variety Hour, and we're taking 5 with Quan from Regurgitator.
Speaking of touring, annual sale, obviously, at the moment. You've also committed to Southbound and Falls Festival later in the year.
We have.
Between the two, what do you prefer doing? Do you like hitting the music festivals, or do you like kind of, headlining and being able to have all the creative control around it?
It's not so much the creative thing. It's more just that intimacy with the crowd that I miss when we're doing the big shows. I mean, the big day out and big festivals are often the cruisiest shows you can do, and they're so, you don't have to work too hard. You do 45 minutes and you get to hang out, and it's nice weather and everything's looked after for you. The other shows you have to work a little harder, you have to set up stuff, you have to kind of do sound checks and stuff like that. But you get that intimacy that you don't get with the large shows. Like even in the Cannes show we played recently, it had a crash barrier, and I didn't even like that meter that was between us and the crowd. It kind of makes it harder to connect with people, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why, this band is never ever going to be a stadium rock band, because I feel like I can't really connect with a crowd that's bigger than 1,000. I find it really awkward sometimes.
So what can the people expect from the annual sale tour? No crash barriers?
Well, yeah, if we can avoid crash barriers, then we will. But, it's really up to the venue, I guess. But, we're playing a lot of new songs, which is kind of unusual. The last record we just was like, I think I only feel like playing 1 or 2 songs off this new record and sticking to the old ones. But this is really hard. This tour has been really hard to write set lists for, because there's so many new songs that we want to play, and try and slot in as many of the old ones that we like playing as well for other people. Sort
of taking a break from the music scene and everything right now, I have one question for you. What's in your fridge right now?
In my fridge?
Yep.
Well, it's difficult because I don't live in Brisbane. I'm staying at my mum's place briefly, and she's actually in Vietnam for 6 months. So there's like one bottle of soy milk that's like off by about 3 months.
Oh, that sounds tasty. That'll be delicious.
So I've had to order takeout for the last 3 nights.
Okay, so we chucked up on our website yesterday that we were interviewing you, and we got some of our fans, I guess, to write in questions they wanted to get an answer.
Would we call them fans?
Sure. Well, stalkers.
Yeah.
Or weirdos.
There's a fine line these days.
Yeah. First one is from Nye, and he wants to know, quite simply, where did Regurgitator come from? How'd you get the name?
Oh, God. Well, we were young and silly at the time, and we were sitting on the back porch, I think, back veranda of my mum's place in Barton, Brisbane here, and flipping through dictionaries. I think we were just like, fuck it, I don't know. So at the end of our, what are we going to call ourselves?
So it wasn't a mate's nickname or anything out on the bus?
No.
The Scarecrow is apparently one of our fans, listeners. Not sure that's his real name, but he wants to know, would you ever want to experience your Band in the Bubble project again?
Yeah, I had a really amazing time. That was probably one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had in my life. and I would do it again, but probably not in Australia. I'd love to do it in Japan or Germany or something like that and take it to like the next level.
Alrighty, Pete wants to know, and I'm in the same boat with him on this, what is at the end of Satan's rainbow? Just need to know.
It's been bugging us. Yeah. We've been dying over and over again. Just can't.
Let's not think about that sort of stuff, man. That's like the one-hand clapping thing. Regurgitator's Cohen. Have you heard that word before?
Regurgitate? No, I haven't actually. I haven't heard that.
Cohen. It's spelled Koan. It's a Buddhist term that refers to an unanswerable question that just needs to be sat upon and thought about and never really answered.
Like
one-hand clapping thing.
Yeah. Is the artwork always a favourite part of doing stuff for the album for you guys? Because, I mean, people just lost their shit over Unit, and it's...
We've won an ARIA for it, which is hilarious.
I know, and it's just, like, as much as, hey, don't get me wrong, I love you guys, it's a circle. It's a circle.
No.
It's orange and silver.
Minimalism was a very important art movement, you realise that, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Essentially, it's minimalist genius, I have to say.
Yeah,
I mean, the art's great. I mean, if you've got time for it, especially, I did a lot of the video. I wanted to do a lot of visuals for this tour and try to get people involved, which was very difficult, and I didn't really leave enough time for it because it is quite time-consuming.
Speaking of time, we'll let you go. Thanks very much, Quan, for giving us a moment of your time and giving us some insight of how it all was put together.
Yeah, thanks heaps. Thanks heaps.
Thank you, Mr. DJ.
Well, every good podcast has to come to an end. Podcast number 6 has finally finished. We've had it all. We've had laughs, we've had tears, and we had the Gurge.
And electroshock therapy. And electroshock therapy. Let's not forget that one, Stu.
Just keep on bringing that up, don't you? Keep on flogging that horse.
Yeah, well, I'll start hobbling out of the studio now, and by the time you finish this up, I'll probably be at the door.
Excellent. Well, we'll leave you guys with one more track from the guys from Regurgitator. It's their first single off their new record. I hope you guys enjoy.
That was the Nick and Stu Variety Hour, brought to you by Nick and Stu. For more podcasts, go to nickandstu.com.